Hello, my name is swissbianco. In this video I will talk about the latest Swiss Army knife that we got in stock, the 93mm blue alox Castaway. It's a brand new model. We have one sample here in my hand. We see already the blue alox scales with the red shield. That's one of the features of the backside. We see the engraving plate on the blue alox. And the tool combination on this new Swiss Army knife is never done before. We have basically two main blades. One towards the shield and one towards the back side. Then we have the pruner blade, the saw, and the Marlin spike sacking needle. As we look on top of it, we see the blades. The main blades are on each side. The saw blade is in the middle, and on the outside is the Marlin spike sacking needle and the pruner blade. So this is a 3-layer Swiss Army knife. As I did say, that was never done like that. It's a new design made for swissbianco in a limited edition. As the knife is based on the carver, which this silver version is a carver here. We see the saw blade is in the middle as well, and outside the two main blades. But we have here the awl on the side instead of the Marlin spike. That gives some changes on the look of the knife. We see on the blue knife, the Castaway, the scale was cut out all the way to give room for the Marlin spike sacking needle. That's the difference to the non-cutted out scale of the silver carver, which is also a special design from us. Now for the Marlin spike sacking needle. This part was traditionally used in Switzerland by farmers. They back then had big rough fabric, burlap fabric kind of bags where they put in the crop that they harvested. If it's a potato, if it's a carrots, whatever they had, that did go in such bigger bags and then get transported to the next place, to the next step in the conservation process, if it gets canned up or whatever. And those sacks, big bags, Kartoffelsack, they did use such needles like this, with a rough threading for close those bags up in the field and on the farm, on the Bauernhof. And this was not that it is necessarily absolute tight. It was just a quick and easy closure of the bag, so nothing much would fall out. So this is not a tool for fine sawing or whatever. That was just a quick tool. So that made really much sense to put that on a Swiss Army knife back then, as the farmer was ready to have that with him in the pocket and ready to be used like the knife blade itself. In our days, this part was also used as a Marlin spike for sailing and with ships and boats. How well it works for that purpose I can't tell. I did never do that. And the sales of this Marlin spike sacking needle did go really much down, so Victorinox decided that it was not worth it to make more of them. So this feature is actually pretty rare. The bags in the Swiss by the Swiss farmers did also change. Of course, the plastic bags came along, so there was not that much a need anymore for have such a device for hand sawed shot. So that market did fade away as well. And maybe for sailing there would be better devices than this. I don't know. I did never do the sailing thing. The third aspect is, of course, for collection. Since there are not that many of those parts left, and currently we are the only source for such parts, we did decide to make this special model available, and some other models with the same sacking needle Marlin spike, and now we got that in stock, and step by step we're gonna put it in the newsletter, in the swissbianco web shop and in the newsletter. So as we have access to those tools, we did create really unique Swiss Army knife by the number that were made, by the color, and by the tool combination of this Swiss Army knife in 93mm with two main blades. There is only two models that are around. It's either the Castaway or the Carver, and both are swissbianco models. Victorinox did never offer models with two blades. The purpose for two blades are mainly similar like the US pen knives, the US pocket knives, the traditional ones from many manufacturers. They also had multiple blades on the pocket knife. This for good reason, because there is, depending on your preference, a lot of different use that you can do with them. Say for myself, I would use the main blade that opens in the front generally, and keep the other blade that opens in the back sharp for special use, where it really needs to cut, or maybe I'm somewhere where I don't have a sharpening device with me. I could also resharpen the secondary blade, which opens on the back side in a different angle, make it a convex edge, where I have a different geometry. So say for whittling, it would bite, as we say in Switzerland, the wood better. I could easier make fire starters with whittling on some wood that gives you some wood shavings with this kind of edge. And it's also like a backup if you mess up the first blade, if you break it or it really gets dull, you have always a second blade with you. The Brunner blade, of course, serves a different purpose by its shape, more precise cut. It's also more short of a blade, so that's a different story there. So this variant of the 93mm alox is really unique with its two main blades and useful. And as I say, other than this Castaway in blue alox with red shield and the Carver, which we did in a couple colors, there are no 93 Swiss millimeter 93mm Swiss Army knives with 2 blades around, so that makes it already a collectible. But mainly we make our Swiss Army knife for use, especially now here in USA. That is a using knife, but of course, because of the limited number, there many gonna just stay in collections, which is okay as well. So for the future we will try to make more of 2-bladed 93mm Swiss Army knives. There is still some combinations of tools left that we will try to do as best as we can, because we feel the idea about having 2 main blades is really appealing for a lot of people, and the number of those knives that are manufactured is really tiny compared to the regular Swiss Army knives that are around. So that much about the brand new Castaway Swiss Army knife in blue alox with red shields from Swiss Bianco.